Hi guys, it's Kathleen from Easy Breezy Creations. I know it's a little bit late. It's not the time that I normally come on. I had promised y'all that I would do a live today on the Unique in the Creek board that I had altered a little bit. So everybody was doing all of their lives earlier and I didn't want to interrupt anyone. I'm probably still kind of going over some people and that's fine. If you jump in, that's great. If not, you can turn right around and what we'll end up doing is using it more of a tutorial. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and get started and let y'all know what we're doing. So for those of you that know me, I like to do things a little bit different. So tonight what we're going to do is a normal Unique in the Creek character board. I have altered it a little bit. I've basically cut the outside edges. So when it comes down here, all you're going to see is basically the bottom of it. I wanted to create basically a rail. I created earlier in the Halloween time frame. I had used this piece to create almost like an open framed wreath. You can go to my Instagram, y'all can see that. And I was doing like a bunch of skeletons and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. And I've had this piece for a while now, and I wasn't real sure what I wanted to do with it. And after watching Rosie's live the other night using the rail, I was like, you know, I think I could probably do that with it and try to go from it. So when I was walking through Joann's, I found in their woodworking section for Christmas, I found this plain wood. It was just a plain wood ornament here, and I thought it was about the same size. It's a little bit smaller, and that's fine. But what I thought I could do with it is create that rail that I was talking about. So what I did last night, just to catch y'all up, y'all probably saw the before and after pictures, is I went in, and this was, like I said, this is just a plain piece of wood. If you want to kind of see on the back, I don't know if y'all can see it because I painted over it. I was trying to be very thorough, but it's just an unfinished piece of wood ornament at Joann's. It's like $4.99, and then you got your 50% off of it. So I did what they call a paint pour technique, and just laid it out, mixed my paints, and did the paint pour to get this effect over it. And then I had this all taped off here, and went in and did another paint pour on top of it. So I did the paint pours in the blues, almost kind of like a sea effect. If you wanted to do it for like an ocean's wreath, it would be really pretty. And I'll do a tutorial on that probably next week, just to give y'all an idea. And if not a live, then definitely a tutorial to go on the YouTube page. And then I just did this one here. I've also added a couple of extra holes for those so that you will know, to make it be more like a rail, because if anybody's ever used a rail, that you know that they have the up and down on the rail, that you can keep it across to get that full effect. So the character board does have the 2 holes here, but I needed it to be a little more full, so I added a hole here so that you would end up going 2, 2. This one was already drilled. Added a hole so that you'd have the 2. This one was drilled, and added a hole on the end so you'd have the 2, so you'd end up with the 12. I kind of laid it out earlier and noticed that it was still a little bit spare, so I went in and added the holes in here. And all I did was just drill. You can kind of see I left some open right here next to it. I left a couple of them open just so that you could see what I was talking about drilling the holes. You'll also, and then I put a couple here. You could glue this to the board, but I added lights to it, so I didn't. I went ahead and just kind of hot glued my zip ties to the back of my wood piece and then stuck them through the drill holes I have, just for added security. And all of y'all can do it however you want to. It's just however you think it's going to secure better to your board. I just didn't want it to go anywhere because I'm actually going to be hanging it from this piece up here, and so I didn't want it to move at all. So like I said, once I got all of that on there, I put the lights behind the ornament, just taped it right to the board, and then added the ornament on top of it so that it gives you that real pretty. I wanted it to look like, once it hit, like there was actually snowflakes kind of falling and you were getting that real pretty snow effect. And then that way you just kind of hid your cord to the back right here, and you just turn it on and off. This one is the only one that's not on a timer. Most of mine are on a timer, but this one's not going to be hidden behind any mesh or anything, so they'll be able to just turn it on and off. Okay, so I've preloaded everything onto the board to make it a little bit easier. So I put 2 pipe cleaners in the holes that I told you about. So you kind of got one that I went to the upper and one to the lower, all the way across. And then I've got the one that's right in the middle. So it's going to give you a total of 12 in the upper and lower, 5 right here in the middle. So a total of 17 pieces of mesh that we're going to do, okay? So I'm going to set that over here for just a moment. Got my little chair right here to make life a little bit easier for you so that you could see the ribbon, the mesh that we're going to use. I have this real pretty snowball mesh in the white. Thought that would be, I'm going for this whole snow scene. Then I had this one left over from, and I don't know if y'all can actually see it real well because of my lighting, but it's actually a real pale. Can you see it if I put something behind it? It's a real pale blue and white checked. It's really super pretty. Once you get on the board, I'm hoping you'll be able to see it. And then it's the same color blue that's actually in the blue that I did with my tree. For anybody that's following me, I seem to have this icy blue and white thing going on right now. So I thought maybe if these would all look really well together. For anybody that wants to know where I got it, the snowball mesh came from Craft Outlet. The blue and white gingham that's right here, that actually came from Joann's spring line. I got it on clearance, didn't know what I was going to do with it. I think I probably bought like a total of maybe 20 some rolls of it. I don't know, it was down to like $1 a roll, so I just bought it. And then we've got the icy blue that y'all know that I got from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so they're all cut at 20 inches except for the ice blue. And I cut it at 15 because it's going to go in my middle. So I wasn't really worried about the coverage. It was just more for an added look of color. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to be doing the ruffle effect with this tonight. Let's move this so y'all can see it. And when we're doing that, just lay out. You want the roll side up. Okay? I'm going to use my scissors to hold it down. Now when I do the ruffle, you can just kind of scrunch it from the middle, but even though I used the wood burner on the end, I still don't want, here, I can tell that y'all can't see it all, so I'm going to shift you over just a little bit. I still don't want any frayed edges, so I'm going to kind of tuck this edge down, kind of fold it under just a little bit, almost like a cruffle, but I really don't want to do anything. I'm just going to hide that edge. Hi, Donna. Am I going to sell what? Am I going to sell the wreath, or do you want me to set it up as a kit, or just the ornament part? I can do either that y'all are wanting. And all you're going to do is just start in the middle, kind of ruffle it on up to the other end. And I always kind of stop short just of the end right here because I don't want that edge to kind of show, and kind of tuck it under. Just so that when I pick it up and it's on the board, you see how it's all got just that little bit of a tuck? So that way you don't have any of them edges. And I'm going to start on this outside point. You're just going to put it into your zip tie. Into your twist. See, I've been using zip ties so long, I'm already calling them that. And we're going to alternate. So we've got the white here. We're going to go right down to the blue. Do the same thing. Just lay it right on down. And you could do any method that you want with this. You could do the cruffle if that's what you would prefer. If you want the bigger loops, I wanted mine to be a little bit flatter. I didn't want that big poofy bottom with the top of it being, the flat look that I have. So just go all the way to the end. Stop a little bit at the far end. Kind of tuck it under. That way, and you're just going to put it right on top of the other one. Just layer it on in there. Again, like I said, I'm sorry it is so late. I know that a lot of y'all are used to seeing me earlier in the day. Had a really busy day today with everything that was going on. And then, like, I did not want to overstep on anybody else's lives that were already planned. So, see how that's looking already? Super pretty in there. And now we're going to alternate, and we're going to go, see, we've got this middle one right here. I don't need a whole lot of anything. Let's see, this one that we have. That's why these are cut. See, it's real thin. I'm not going for coverage with this one. This one is just solely to add that little pop of color, to blend all of this together. Scrunch it all the way to the other end. I know it's going to be really thin. That's fine. I'm not worried about it. Get down to our small one. Twist it right on in there. Make sure, I usually twist it about 4 times. That's going to allow me to make sure I know it's not going to move anywhere. And I'm not going to do any embellishments or ribbons on the ones I'm adding to the middle. So for that reason, I'm just going to go ahead and clip that off so I don't have to worry about it and go back. The other ones, these, I will be doing with those. I'll be adding either a ribbon or maybe some little balls. I'm not real sure yet, but okay. Now we're going to come up to this top one that we have right here. Just lay this, we'll fix it all. This one's going to be back to the checkered gingham one. Remember, they are cut at 20 inches to give you that fullness. Fold it under just a little bit. Sorry about the dog. There seems to be a party of some sort in the neighborhood, and for whatever reason, she is not liking it. So when y'all hear a bark in the background, please, please forgive me. Normally, she is as quiet as a mouse. Y'all have never heard her before. Quinny, stop. Sorry, guys. But she is not liking whatever is going on in the neighborhood tonight. And she is letting me know about it. I did have her in the bedroom. I'm going to tell you, having her in the bedroom was worse. Okay. And you can see how full it's already getting. I mean, I'm not even across the board yet, which is fine. I mean, we're only like right here on the second row, and it's already wanting to. I don't like my mesh to stick, so I always get these great big like chip clips, and I just kind of clip it up out of the way so it's not sticking on anything. Hi, Sharon. I'm here. I don't normally come live this late at night, but thank you for jumping in. I was trying not to step on anybody's toes with all their other stuff, so I just kind of sat in the background, did my thing. Plus the paint wasn't dried on the board. Okay, so I just fold this under just a little bit on the end, just so y'all can see again. And I kind of lay it down just to hold it a little tight, and I'm just going to scrunch it right across the middle to get that real pretty ruffle effect. Again, these are cut at 20 inches. You get all the way across to the edge here. When you get almost to the end, just tuck it under a little bit. Okay? And that's going to give you that real pretty ruffle. And we're going to stack it right on in here to the bottom one. Okay. Kind of pull that down. Use our chip clip, move these out of the way. Now we're on this one that's right here in the middle. Remember, on the middle ones, we are using that ice blue. These are not cut to 20 inches. Just the white and the gingham are. The ice blue are cut to 15. Just because we're using them as a pop color, not as anything else. Scrunch it on across. Everybody has their own little technique. I think the ruffle is the easiest to learn, and it's real pretty. Makes a really nice full effect. And since, like I said, I'm wanting to go for that snowdrift look on this one, I kind of wanted it to look like it was rolling and moving. Again, twist that about 4 times. The center one, we are not going to add anything to these, so you can clip them off, tuck them under, whatever you want to do. Get them out of your way so you don't have to deal with it. Now, for those of you that are wondering, again, like why I'm moving this over, all of this other mesh is really thick. It's really not gonna fray. But this one, the super thin one, you can tell the difference in the quality. The more you touch that, the more it's gonna want to fray on you. So I just kind of move it out of the way to keep that fraying option down, okay? Now we're alternating again. So we had the gingham up here, the white down here. So we're going to go back to the white to the top and the gingham to the bottom. We'll start with our top. Lay out your snowball. Hi, Christine. I am using a UITC board. I'll show you here in just a second. Let me get these two in. Exactly what I did to it. I have a tendency to want to alter things. So on this one, it's a character board that I used. And I just cut part of the ring off. And then that way I was allowed to create my own character board. My own rail using that board. Okay. So we're going to put the white. Nope. Look at me, I almost make a mistake. White goes to the top. Twist it 2 or 3 times. That one's there. We're going to go down to the bottom. That one's going to be with your gingham, blue and white. And finish this one and I'll show you exactly what I'm working with. We're going to just scrunch it straight through the middle, creating that ruffle. Again, like I said, if y'all wanted to do that woodland ruffle or whatever they call it, woodland ruffle, I don't know what they call it, you can do that too. Thank you, Sharon. I love the ruffle too. I just think it makes such a pretty effect. You really can't go wrong. There's so many techniques you can do with it. So we'll set that in there, just kind of twist it. And I'll go back in and move all of these around. So we're going to fold these up and get them out of our way. Use our chip clip, just kind of clip it on over. All right. So what I'm going to do, so I know that somebody, that Christina, I'm sorry, had just joined. So we're going to go ahead and just show you this is actually a character board from the Unique in the Creek character board. And all I did was I left, these are your main holes here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I left 6 strips of holes on the bottom down here. And I cut the rest of the edges off, basically all the way around where the character board would be. And then created my own rail by doing that. What I was telling them earlier is that, like you can see the bigger holes here. I'll turn it around. These are the real holes where it has the 3 on the character boards. And then it usually goes to this one where there's 2. So to create, because I needed that up and down effect, I drilled a hole on this one. You can just go from this hole to the bottom of the board if you want to. I've seen Lori and everybody do it a lot of times. It's not that big of a deal. I just wanted it to all to kind of stay tight, and I was afraid it would move. So y'all know I love to use my drill. So that's what we did. You got so I ended up being 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So you got 12 pipe cleaners here. And then I realized when I did a test run of it earlier, it wasn't really giving me the pop of color that I wanted. So I went in and added 2 holes in between those so that I could put that blue in there. So I could really pop that blue that is in up here. So that's all I did. Okay. Now we're going to alternate, and we're into right here. All these ruffles in your way, y'all can't see. So we're into the middle one. The middle one, again, is that ice blue. Or you can make it any rotation that you want. I just did not want a lot of ice blue, since the pour paint ornament has a lot of that blue in it. So we've got our ruffle, we've got our little edges tucked under, and we're going to just kind of put it right here in the center with this little one. Twist it in place like 4 times. 2, 3, 4. You're not going to use this one. You may, I'm not. So just kick that out of the way. Tuck it down. Make sure it's good and secure in there. Pull it on out of the way. See how we're almost to the end right now? Love this technique because, one, it's really easy. Goes super fast, and it's so pretty. Okay, so we ended up with, look, I done forgot where I was. Okay, we have white snowflake up here. So we're going to do our gingham and back down to our white. Oh, thanks, Christine. Christine, I love doing things that are different. And at Halloween, I had cut that piece off because I did like this whole, I was obsessed with skulls. So I did like all these skull wreaths, and that's what I used that piece for, was to do a skull wreath. And I wanted it to be open, and I didn't want to do it on the grapevine, and I wanted it to just be different. So and this just gives you another option for your character boards. Allison, I'm from Australia. We'll have to watch replay. Oh, it'll be okay. You didn't really miss a whole lot, because what I ended up doing was I already had everything basically paint poured and attached, because I'm going to do not so much a live, but a tutorial on how to mix paints to do a paint pour, in case y'all haven't watched them. And that's what gave me this effect. And all I did was just kind of mix a little bit of glitter in with it, just to make it sparkle, and can never have too much sparkle, right? So you really didn't miss anything. I was just showing how I attached the piece and where I got it from. But what is my snowflake? This one. The snowflake is actually a wood piece that I got from Joann's in their Christmas section. It's an unfinished wood piece. So what I did, that's what I was talking about the paint pour. It was just unfinished wood, just a plain ornament. And I went in and taped this off and did the paint pour down here, let it dry, and then switched it, taped this part off, and did the paint pour up here with a white and a gray, and then mixed some silver into it. Thank you, Allison. Right, so we're down here. I love the paint pour technique. It's probably my favorite. It gives it that real pretty mottled look, and you can add glitter to it to give it a whole new effect, and it gives it that nice shine without adding anything to it, because I use acrylic paints. I use that glossy anyway, so I love that technique. I use that all the time on a lot of different things. And all right, so we've got our ruffle here. We're on to our white. We're going to add this one to the bottom. And twist it into place. We're just going to go ahead and just clip that on out of our way. Now we're right back down here. All right, put that right down here. And we're going to put our ice blue in. You can be that talented. It's not hard. If you can squeeze paint out of a tube, and they have this, you can either use water, or they actually have a mixing medium that you can use that don't make me think of the name of it right now because I don't know. That it's made specifically for paint pours. But you can do it like a dirty pour that's like with water. If you can squeeze paint out of a tube and mix it up with a tongue depressor or any type of a stick, then you can do it. It's super, super easy. I'm telling you, until probably 6 months ago, I wouldn't have even been able to tell you what a paint pour was. And now I'm like super obsessed with them. So when I saw that, the first thing I thought about when I saw this was, that looks about the size of a character board. I wonder, and then my brain started clicking. All right, so here we are. We only have 5 left, basically. And I'm going to shift my chair so y'all can see from this angle, because I'm always a flipper. I'm so sorry. So now we've got your gingham up here. So it's going to go white to the top and gingham to the bottom. Like I said, that's how we just keep alternating. Okay. Fold your end under and kind of press it down just a little bit, just to get it good and tight. Scrunch it. Again, like I said, I do wood burn all of my ends. But even if you use the rotary cutter, this is the perfect technique when you're doing that cruffle, just because you can tuck that end under. We call them dirty pours, Mom. Yes, Bree. Bree is my daughter, and she likes to correct me. I don't like calling it a dirty pour. I'm sorry. To me, it just doesn't sound, I don't know, pretty. The word dirty's in it. All right, so we're going to flip that up to the top. Clip it on out of the way. Put our gingham in. For those of you that are just joining, we have a total of 17 pieces of mesh cut. You have 6 of the snowball white cut to 20 inches. And you have 6 of the blue and white gingham cut to 20 inches. And then you have 5 of the ice blue, and it's only cut to 15. Just because that's your accent color and it's not really used to fill anything. Okay. We're almost done with this, and then we're going to have an interactive session because I'm going to show y'all some ribbon choices, and you're going to pick which ribbons to put on this inside those zip ties to make it pop a little bit. I've already picked out the ones I want for my bow up top. But I'm going to let y'all pick out what you think you want to put on the bottom for your accent ribbon. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this one right in here. 2 more, and y'all get to make some decisions. And see how this one, I don't know if y'all can see it, how this one kind of came out. Just tuck it under. Flip it right back under, and now all of your cut edges and exposed edges are gone. Fold this one down because you're not going to use it anymore. Move that out of our way, and we're on our last ones. You got the white right here at the top. Last 2 will be gingham, white at the bottom. Fold it a little bit. That fold at the bottom is not really big. It's less than 1 inch when you fold it over. Again, it's just to secure your edges to make sure you don't have any fray. Okay, see, like I'm right here at the end. There's about 1 inch, and I just tuck it under. And then you come back up. Now, I had somebody ask me earlier, I'm going to stop here because somebody actually emailed me earlier asking what a certain ruffle was. And it was this actual ruffle. But she had done it, the way they had done it was they had kind of flipped it over. So you can do that. Flip right in half, one on top of the other. And that makes a beautiful little piece to put, especially on a character board right around the outside, because it gives you that hole. So just in case she watches the replay, because I tried to type to her exactly what I meant, and I'm afraid that I may not have been very instructive. It's kind of hard to read in an instruction what you're trying to tell somebody to do. Okay, let me fix that. I'm bringing you to your craft room. I'm not going to the craft room. Y'all don't want to go to my craft room. You may not make it out alive in one piece. 2, 3. So I don't know if anybody has, we've made the post yet. I know we made the post about what time you'd like to see the lives. That idea was in anticipation of we are going to do 7 days of lives. It may not always be wreathing. It may be something simple like how to do the dirty pours that we're talking about, as Bree likes to call them. I call them paint pours. But how to do that, it may be something as easy as let me think what else we can do. I know I'm going to show you how to, on a non-UITC board, how to do a Santa Claus hat using the Dollar Tree witch's hat. I'm going to be making a military wreath in honor of Veterans Day. So this is how it looks unadjusted. I haven't like fluffed or anything right now, but you see how that ice blue kind of pops in there. And just does what it needs to do. Okay. So here we go. Here are your choices. And I am missing one. Hold that thought, guys. It went flying. Be right back. So sorry. It's one of my favorites. So here are all of our choices. We have this one, which is a white and silver in the middle. We got to pick 2. We have this one. This light is so bright, I don't even know if y'all can see it. It's more of a silvery, and it's got the blue right in the middle of it with the white. This is the one I used on my tree. The perfect ice blue. We have this one with the polka dots. It's got like the turquoise and the snowflakes and the silver. There is this one that I haven't even opened yet, but I just like the look of it. It almost looks like coral under the water, but it's sparkly and it's that ice blue. You need a demo on the UITC so we see the middle so it's not covered up with mesh. Yeah, I can do that. And then there's this one, which is a straight silver, and it's kind of got a lace in the middle of it. So which 2 do y'all think? Here, I will lay them in front of the board and slide it over for you. So with this ribbon, I need 2 to accent with. Any suggestions? Y'all get to decide. Nobody cares? If you don't care, I'm just going to go with it. Okay, we're just going to go with it. I'm thinking I really like this silver, just to give it a little bit of a pop. And maybe, because we already have the white, so I was afraid this one would kind of blend a little bit. And then I was thinking this one, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. These two? Is that what you're thinking? They all started falling off. I don't know what 2 and 3 are anymore. I like the ice blue and the polka dots. That's what I was thinking. I was either thinking this with the polka dots. I was either thinking this one, or I was thinking this one. So silver and polka dots or ice blue and polka dots. If you like these two together, hit the like button. Nobody? Okay. If you like these two together, hit the like button. Okay, ice blue and polka dots it is. And I'm not going to really put a lot on here. So what I'm going to end up doing is, because you've got the 2 and the 2 and the 2, and I'm just afraid that they'll moving all the way around. So what I'm gonna end up doing is kind of alternating. So you're actually going to end up with like 1 in each section. So since there's 6, you'll end up with 6 ribbons, because then I'm going to go in with either the picks or maybe either some ice blue picks or some of the balls. I couldn't find my ice blue ones, and then we'll go in and we'll do that. Just to give it a little bit of something, okay? So we'll move this out of the way for a minute, and we'll cut these. And you're going to need, like I said, 6 of them total. And we're going to cut them to 12 inches, okay? I lost them. Oh, Lord. Okay. Nobody judge. We're going to use my non-good scissors. So just 6 of them. Normally, if I was cutting a lot of these, I would just fold them over and to however many folds I had and cut the edges to make it faster. 4, 5, and 6. This is my favorite. Oh, did you see Quinn, Bree? Yeah, there's something happening in the neighborhood. Not a ghost. I'll be even like saying that. I know you. She is barking up a storm. So 1. Now the wire strength on this one, even though these are both wired ribbons, but on this one, it's not a very strong wire. Or do they call it tensile strength or whatever it's called? It's not strong at all. It'll be good for this project, and it'll be good in a bow. But like on a major round wreath where it's going to be hanging from the top, I'm not real sure how it would work. I'm not sure if the tails would stay up. 5 and 6. We'll go back to that one because, believe it or not, that's also in my bow. Now we're going to dovetail these, and by dovetailing, all we're going to do is just fold it over. You've got your folded side, and you're going to cut from your folded side up to your corner up here, okay? Told you I don't have my non-good scissors, so no judging. So when you open it up, you've got this real pretty, okay? Do your other side. Fold it over, cut from your fold to your corner. Have your little trash can over here. Do this real quick. Because I don't want to keep y'all on long, but I'm hoping to keep you on long enough to show you how to do a bow. Because I always do my bow in advance. And then all of y'all are like, wait a minute, what happened? You wanted to see it, and sorry. Okay. Let me cut this. Sorry you're having to wait while I cut these ribbons real quick, but I wanted y'all to be a part of this since it was going to be so late. I wanted that little bit of interaction, and I kind of wanted y'all to see how just you can really never go wrong with your ribbon choices. I mean, unless it's like a totally strange color, but there's so many options out there, and it's just a matter of preference. It's whatever you like. And I am obsessed with ice blue and silver this year, or peacocks. As a matter of fact, I was at Joann's today and saw this ornament. And the first thing I said was, I know how I could design a wreath around that. And the lady that was standing next to me that I talk to every time I walk in there, because you know you go there a lot when the lady knows you by name, just busted out laughing. He's like, let me go get you a buggy because you had a bag. I'm like, no, I'm being good. But it's coming. Something else exciting on the way. So if there's something that else, I heard that somebody wanted to do a character board. If there's anybody that has another idea of something you would like to see, I mean, we don't have to be straight on the UITC. If you'd like to learn something to do with the wireframe, how to do, you know, a ruffle, how to do a cruffle, how to just do a bow, whatever it is, just let me know. I will gladly do a live on it. It's the only way we're going to learn is if we all kind of work together on this, okay? So I'm going to kind of fluff these, get them where I want them. Okay. Because you don't want all of your colors just kind of sitting on top together. So I kind of maneuver the colors through, so it's all nice and pretty. Just keep weaving your colors in and out. You can do this, like I said, as you go along. It's totally your choice. But sometimes how they naturally fall is just as pretty. Okay, so we're going to start with the one that's right up here up top. I'm not trying to rush you, but I have a class. No, no problem. I will gladly. All right, so here we have, you can fold it over to the center like so. I'm going to tell you, I always stick mine on top of each other. Some people put them in one piece at a time. Not this girl. Okay, so you got them. Cruffle, cruffle, cruffle. Right down the middle. Fold it over. You want to make sure that they're even. Okay. You're going to lay it right down inside this pipe cleaner. Give it a couple of twists. And I didn't want to go, I know most people normally go the 2.5 inch ribbon. I really did not want to do that just because I was afraid it would make these things not stand up. And I'll come back and fluff these when we're all done. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. Okay? So there's your pieces. You'll have this nice pop of color in here. See what I'm doing? So that's the top one. We're going to come in, grab our bottom one, pull it on up here where it is. Get our next 2 ribbons. Fold it over. You could have all of our shops. As you can tell, I like different. I missed something. What do you mean I like different? Bree, you better be nice. I got on live TV tonight, no makeup on, hair not brushed. I'm in lumberjack gingham over here. But again, I posted this last night on who would like to see a live on this particular board today. And paint wouldn't dry. Anyway, all this stuff that was going on, and I didn't want to be a liar. So I'd rather come on late than not come on at all and be a liar. So no hair, no makeup. This is me. Enjoy. Okay, here we go. And like I said, I'll fluff these out later, but that's going to give y'all an idea of kind of what I'm doing here. Just kind of alternating back and forth, and I'll fix those for you before I post them. Okay, here is, that's the top one, so that will end up being my curls. Let me go ahead and curl that, get that done. When I'm talking about curls, all you're going to do is take your pipe cleaner, take something like a pen, take your pipe cleaner and wrap it around it. Okay? And then it makes, I don't know if y'all can see it in there, kind of makes like a piggy tail. And then you leave this point on the end so that when you want to put your little foam balls, they just sit on the end and you don't have these pipe cleaners sticking out. And it's kind of more ornate. And you can spread your pipe cleaner out a little bit. So you can have one kind of going one direction, one kind of going the other. That way you can put 2 different, like that. You can go up and down with them. That way you could put 2 different balls on them and it would still give you, see what I mean? And then you could just kind of, once you've done that, fluff out your mesh right in between it, and then they're separated down. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this top one. Y'all can watch me do it. All I'm doing is taking the top, wrapping it, and just rolling it basically down your pen. I mean, I'm using an X-Acto knife. Probably not the smartest thing in the world, the lid top, but it's the only thing I could find without having to get up again. And then you've got your cute little twist down in there to come back to. We'll come back to those. We'll do this one. In case y'all haven't figured out, I like to do it as we go. What is Bree talking about? Oh, it's a Unique in the Creek character board, yeah. Alright, so now we're up to this one up top with our ribbon. Pull it out, go ahead and grab them. Let's get that one done. Fold it to find your perfect center. If you're good, just go ahead and scrunch. Yeah, I haven't tried that. It's a killer. 6 things in a basket. What are y'all talking about? Who paid $165? What did I miss? I'm not paying $165 for anything. If y'all are talking about crafting supplies, I'll make it. Okay, spread these out. As I said, we'll come back, show you how pretty it is in the picture tomorrow because I know it's late. That one's done. We're going to come to the bottom. Fold in half. I promise you our lives are not going to be this late. Not going to happen. Even though I am a super late owl person, I'm a night owl. Okay, put it in the one on the bottom because we just did the top. Twist it about 3 or 4 times. Get it good and tight. Separate out your ribbons. When you're doing your ribbons, make sure you're alternating your colors. And you can see how it's kind of alternating across. Just to give it that little bit of pop. We don't want a whole lot of anything. Just a little bit. Okay. We're back up here. Twist those down into your little piggy tails. And get them out of your way. If you don't want to add ornamental anything into the middle of your bow area, like you don't want to add any of the balls or anything like that, you can do the same thing in the middle of that and it'll look great because you've got this whole, made those piggy tails right in the middle. All right, we got our piggy. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's going to end up going to the top. So 5. You're a night owl? I am. It doesn't matter if I try to go to bed at 11 o'clock or if I go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to get up at the same time no matter what. It doesn't matter to me. All right, let's add this one in. Get it right down in the middle, twist it about 4 times. Just want to make sure that's good and secure. So when you start tugging these ribbons the opposite direction, it doesn't pop right out of your pipe cleaners. Now you can do these with zip ties. I know I have a couple of people that they just have to have zip ties. They don't like pipe cleaners. That's fine. Just make sure that you either add your ribbon as you're going with your mesh or you double zip tie it. So like you'll do the zip tie for your mesh and then you'll have to go in and add a zip tie to put your ribbons in. Either way you want to do it. Okay, we want to make sure that they're good and even. We're going to do our last one, which is down here at the bottom. It's kind of off to the side, but 1, 2, 3, and 4. Twist to make sure it's good and tight. And this one's going to be right perfectly under where that blue sits, so that ain't happening. It had to be moved. All right, so let's yank them apart, for lack of a better word. Oops, I went the wrong direction. Sorry, I ended up with 2 colors on top of each other. All right. And we have one more set of piggies right here to twist. Rose, you cannot be watching. It is late. You should be in bed. But thank you. All right. So that lets you have an idea just that little bit of pop of color all the way across. And I will go in and I will play with this by pushing these off more to the side, because you see when you kind of do that, then it opens up where you can actually see that ornament more. So I'll go in, and I just don't want to keep y'all on forever, and I'll play with all of that, and that way you can open the ornament. You can put in writing right here, maybe let it snow on the cricket, which is probably what I'll do. You can go in and put, if you want to be controversial, you can put like, baby it's cold outside, since that's the big controversial thing right now. But just to turn on the lights for a minute, we're not done, but holding it back so y'all can kind of see where we're at. It's going to give you that look, okay? I'm going to turn the light off. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, uh-oh, what about the side of her board right here? Because it kind of shows, you can kind of, if I come close, you see how it has that? Don't worry about it. You know I got a plan. Okay? Always have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, improvise once you realize that it doesn't quite cover, because you know you were just improvising on the fly while you were at Joann's. So, that is where you know you got too much stuff when things start falling. That's where your bow's going to come in. So are we ready for the fun? Here we go. So my envision for my bow is that we're going to probably do about 4 or 5 colors. Not sure. But I'm going to cut them at a 12-inch tail. The tail meaning the long piece. And then if I need them shorter, I can always cut them shorter, but I can't add the ribbon back. Because my idea is that when I make the bow, that the tails, I'm going to kind of like do the crimpy thing down around the side, so it's real full around, kind of circles the ornament. I may like it, I may not like it, I may hate it, you can never tell. So, let's make a bow. Normally your tails are not going to be 12 inches, okay? But in this case, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with my center peg right here on the 12, because I know I have a 24-inch mat. So if I go all the way over to the edge, which you can't see, over here, I moved it, that's 24, and this is sitting at 12. So when I'm making a bow, you want the pretty side up, basically, at all times. So you're going to kind of scrunch, because you need to do a twist. So when you're twisting, you're going to just kind of flip it over, because you want pretty side up, because that's going to be your tail that everybody sees. But if you didn't twist, then when you flip it back, you would end up flipping to ugly side. Okay? So you make that little half twist in there. So when you flip it back over, you end up with this real pretty mesh matching. Okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to say, I don't want a really big bow up top. I don't want it enormous. So we're going to go 4.5. So you're going to just take your little loop right here. There's measurements on the side of your board that I'm looking at. So you've got like 0, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on across. And that's how you'll measure. So I'm going to put my finger in here, and that's going to be a 4.5-inch loop. Okay? Come back to the center and twist. When you get to the center, because you want bottom side up again to the other side, you're going to go straight over to your 4.5-inch again. Now, I'm only going to do 2 large on the 2.5 here. So there's your 4.5, a little bit more. Measure that out. So you don't have to twist on this one. It's just a matter of pulling it down and making sure your tails are even. You can measure it, but I've kind of gotten somewhat close when I do it, that I can kind of figure it out. Because I know that we're good, okay? Because this one's actually more like 13 than a 12. All right, so we have this one. Now we're going to go in, and we're going to do, oh, I forgot to tell y'all, on all of your bottoms, you want to do a dovetail. So fold that in half again and just cut straight across. So you get this real pretty bottom. You fold, cut from the folded over. All right, so that piece is done. Add your ribbon. Now we went from a 2.5 inch to a 1.5 inch. Okay, go ahead and get your dovetail. Measure out your tail, put it in, half twist. Now this one, a little bit different. You're going to half twist, but instead of going straight to the middle, you're basically setting up your bow before you ever are done, okay? You're gonna go half twist here, come up to the top, half twist, make sure those are even. See what I'm doing? Come down, half, kind of make sure our loops are the same. Measuring out to the same distance. Yep, yep. Okay, and because you're about to end it, you don't do the half twist. You just bring it on down. And cut your tail. Okay. So you got down and down. Does it make sense to everybody? So you're going to end up with a 2.5 going straight across. That's just 1 and 2, and then you're going to go with the 4 points. That's what makes your bows. Okay. Now we're going to come back and do another 2.5. And this one's kind of a sheer one, but it's got the prettiest snowflakes on it. See how it's got all of those snowflakes? So it's going to look really good with this board. So we're going to fold it over and get that nice clean dovetail that we're always after. Okay. Put it on. So pretty side up. Bring your tail down. Remember, always make it long. You can always cut it off. Okay. Do your half twist in the middle so that you end up with pretty side down or printed side down. And since this is at 4.5, we're going to take this one in a little bit, make it more of like a 4. Let go. Twist in the middle. Okay. Pull it over. This one's so thin, that's why I'm fighting with it. Now we want this one to be, see how if you pull it, y'all can see, you want it to be just a little bit shorter than what you already have going on. About a 1/2 inch. Okay. Drop it right on down there. Get your tails. Cut your dovetail. Okay. Then we're going to go right back and do one more full set of the 1.5 inch. And for that one, because I want to end, we're going to do the silver because I want to end with that gray and white one. I mean with the polka dotted one, sorry. Okay, so do your dovetail. If y'all are wondering where I keep putting my ribbon on the end of this, I know y'all probably can't see. It's got the little holder. So that's where it keeps going. It's kind of out of sight a little bit off, but I'm trying for you to concentrate on the bow. All right, pretty side up. Get your tail down. Okay. Now remember, on your 1.5 inches, and this is the easiest way for everybody to remember how to do a bow while they're learning. You want to go down. It's always opposite. So if you got this one in the middle, these need to be 4 corners. Okay. You expect a pretty bow like this on your, no, Bree. No pretty bow like this on your presents. For y'all to just rip open and want to throw away. Okay, so we're going to do a half twist. So we've got that one. See how each time you come in, you make sure that they're a little bit shorter. Now we're going, this is a very, very, very thick ribbon. So this one I'm kind of holding in place because it's really wanting to give me grief. You can tell how thick the ribbon is because if you look at my opening to my Easy Bow Maker, it's literally pulling it apart. So I keep holding my hand in there. The other thing that I always do is stick my anyway, I usually it's my scissors, but you can put your pliers, your wire cutters, anything you want to down in there just to hold it in place so it's not popping out, especially when you're dealing with a really, really thick ribbon. Okay. I know you don't throw it away. You usually wear it on your head. I was just picking at you. Okay. So then we're down to our last one in order to make the top of this, okay? And we're going to go back to the one that we used. Nope. Yeah, the one we used on it. And this one, when I finish it off like this, I don't really do a double bow like that in the middle. So you're going to bring your tail down. Like so. And on this one, I really just kind of make a single loop. I know it seems kind of weird. People are always like, you're doing what? But that's kind of what I do. I kind of just, and you can even loop it around your board if it makes it a little bit easier. So do your little twist. Do this and your tail. And I'm not going to dovetail that just yet. So knock all of that out of the way. Just grab yourself a pipe cleaner that matches what you're using. I had one, but it fell on the floor, so it was easier for me to just grab another one. Take your bow. You're going to slide it, slide it on out. See how it's all together? See, it's all nice and stacked. Bend your pipe cleaner in half. And you're going to just lay it. And you can put this on the bottom if you want to. Like I've had them to where you put the pipe cleaner in at the bottom and just lift. And I've just found it's easier if I just go ahead and pick it up. For whatever reason, I don't really know. But for me, it just seems to work easier. Look at me be a liar because it's wanting to fight me like crazy right now. And then all you're going to do is do a slight twist at the bottom and just turn your bow. Not the pipe cleaner, your bow, okay? So then you have this bow, and you've already basically have everything because you've got it, and all you have to do is just fluff it out. So you've got the big one, and you've got the little to the little. Here's your big one that you started with. Pull your ice blues, so you're not really fighting. Now you got this one right in the middle. Kind of move it down just a touch off of the other one, just so you can see everything. Nothing major. Got your pretty centers going on here. Bring all of these down. All you're doing is just spreading them out. So that creates this really, really, what everybody thinks is this extravagant and hard thing to do. Guess what? If you lay it out while you're doing it, it's really, really not. And I'm doing this backwards, so I'm kind of looking at the camera to see if I'm even doing this right. And then remember how I just did the one in the middle? It kind of acts as your center to all of this so that it hides your pipe cleaner that you just put in there. Does that make sense? What does it say? I would be falling apart. It won't fall apart. Everybody says that, and Bree needs to hush. She wrong. It will not fall apart. She knows it won't. I've tried numerous times to teach her these things, guys. Bree, in case y'all aren't sure, Bree, the one that's Christiana that's commenting, that would be my daughter. And she's like, nope, I do cups, you do wreaths. Leave us all out of this. Okay, now I'm not going to really prep it, but I want y'all to kind of see what I'm doing, because it's going to take me a while to hang it. But put it through the top, and all of your tails that you have basically are going to end up kind of coming off the side of the wreath, but puffy. I don't know if any of y'all understand what I'm saying, but you will once I post the picture. You're going to basically end up kind of crimping it like this down the sides, if that helps you understand what I'm trying to say. But just straight down the sides, and then it gives you that fold that's going to keep that edge of this character board hidden, per se, for lack of a better term. So it's still not perfect, but hopefully this gives y'all an idea of what I'm talking about with the crimps. See what I'm saying? You just kind of crimp it up out of your way at the top so it's not covering your ornament, and crimping it down the side of your board like this of your ornament. Do y'all see what I'm saying? And then that way, and you do it with each one, crimp it out of your way at the top, and then just crimp it to the side of the board coming down, and then it covers that opening that we had at the earlier, but it's still going to let you see, once I get it all crimped, the actual ornament part. Okay? So that when you turn on your real pretty lights that are all up in this, when it's all done, you'll end up with all of this ribbon coming down and bordering this ornament. Here, I'll tuck that to the side for a minute. But you'll end up with all this ribbon all nice and tucked in this real pretty bow up top, and these lights coming through like a wintry wonderland theme to give you this perfect effect. What do you think? Any questions? Can I do that on the Bow Dabra? Yes, you can. You can do that on the Bow Dabra. All you're going to do is set your Bow Dabra, because the Bow Dabra is the little gray one, so it's only about 6 inches wide. So find a place on your board if you have a mat. I recommend like an even number, like at a 10. Set the center of your Bow Dabra right there on the 10, and then use your mat to be able to measure out all of your loops. and it'll do the exact same thing. And the bow dabber will be a little bit easier if you don't have a lot of hand control, where I had to take and put a piece down inside of my Easy Bow Maker because it started spreading apart. The bow dabber actually has a little piece that will do that. Okay. Any other questions? Love it. Thank y'all for loving it. Can you show the back? Yeah, gladly show the back of it. So this is the back of the board. For if you were joining late, so this is your character board. I cut all of the outside edges off and just left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bottom of actual holes. And you can either, because these are like the ones that actually have the real holes here, like the 3, because you know how it goes 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. I want it to be able to have 3 holes in each one, so you can either drill a hole, which is what I did here, or go from this hole to the bottom of the board, whichever way you want, just as long as you have the 2 to fill it in. Okay? How in the world did I what? I'm going to flip this up because I can't read anything anymore. How in the world did you attach the snowflake and the lights? If you look right here, if my ribbons want to get out of my way for a minute, if you look right here, I drilled little bitty holes around, and then one right here in the center, here and here. Just 2 little holes. So what I ended up doing was I attached my lights to the board just with tape, okay? And then I hot glued on the back of my actual wood ornament piece, I hot glued some zip ties that I had cut in half. So once you cut them in half, and I just kind of made it a little flat section like this, so that I ended up gluing it straight to the back of my ornament like this, so that it was flat, and let it sit for probably about 10 minutes to make sure that hot glue was really good and set on the wood piece. And then I just took the actual pipe cleaners through the holes that I had already drilled. Okay? And then that way you can just zip tie it and it holds it on there. And the lights, like I said, once you do that, the lights hold themselves in place on the board. And that allows you to, and I don't have this zip tied down, so y'all have to excuse it. So, and then it just kind of, once it's all done, it's going to shine through like this real pretty winter wonderland. And it lets you, and you can put anything. You want to put, you don't have to use an ornament. The red trucks are in real big right now. I know Dollar Tree has a red truck as a bag that you can Mod Podge onto this. I'm going to take this bow off so y'all can see for a minute. So like that, so you can Mod Podge a red truck on here and make this a rail. I just wanted to show y'all another option for the character board than always just putting something in the center, just going around the outside of it. Just wanted it to be a little bit different. Any other questions? If you don't have any questions, I appreciate y'all dropping in and going live with me. Like I said, I know it's really, really late. But I am going to post a schedule because we are going to do the 7 days of lives. And I will post basically what we're going to be doing every day. And that way, if you can't make it one day, you can make it another one. It's not a big deal if you can't make it every day. And I will post what time so that everybody can mark it on their calendar. If you liked what you saw today, if you would like, follow, and share our page, I would really, really appreciate it. Daedalus Dazzling Decor / Easy Breezy Creations. We are running a contest right now. We are so close. We've done this our 3rd live, so after our 2nd one, our numbers jumped because I said once we reached 500, I was going to do a special live that whatever I was making at that time, we were going to be giving a prize away during that once we reach our 500 lights. So we're almost there, guys. I think we're at 439, 440, something like that. We don't, Facebook's cutting down on the alerts, Christina, but on this live, if you go up to the upper right hand corner right now, you'll see 3 little dots. If you click on those 3 little dots, it'll have a drop down menu, and it says notify or turn on notifications or something for live alerts. If you click on that, it'll automatically send you an alert when we go live. Oh, the ornament is actually a wood non-painted ornament that I got from Joann's, and then I did like a paint pour, or as my daughter likes to call it, a dirty pour on the ornament. And we are going to be doing a tutorial, maybe not a live, but a tutorial that I will post to our page on actually how to do that with the wood pieces, especially here for Christmas. Okay? Any other questions? Could you use fabric in the center? Fabric in the center of the character board? If that's the question, then yes, you can. All you would have to do is just Mod Podge the fabric down in the center of the character board, and it would do the exact same thing. You just want to make sure you put a thin layer of Mod Podge on the center of the board, lay your fabric down, and then Mod Podge over the top of it. I would just to get that good seal. But yes, you can. Anything else that I missed? Any questions? Keep a look at it though, because I will post a picture once I get it all fluffed and sorted and everything all nice and pretty. I'll put it on the page, and that way y'all be able to see when it's all done. Okay? If nothing else, I thank y'all all so much for joining me. And yes, I will do a character board. I'm not sure what, but I will make sure I do a character board for you. Something uniquely different. But thank y'all again so much. I appreciate you stopping in, and look for our alerts for our next live, and stop in and see us. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.